Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I want to talk a little bit more about feints or fakes in sword fighting. Right now I'm doing sword and buckler, but it can be single sword, it can be sword and shield, it doesn't matter. I did a prior video on calibrating your feints to your opponent. So, from the edge of your range, you kind of have to figure out what your opponent is going to react to. Will they, react to a subtle twitch like this, right? Or do you have to make something a little bit more exaggerated, or does it have to be very exaggerated? Okay. So with some people, I can just do that. I can get them to bite, or I get them to react, and then go somewhere else. With other people, it has to be a little bit more blade motion, right? And then I can go somewhere else. And with some people, I need to actually bring the blade out, and just prior to making contact, I can go somewhere else. The difference is that the bigger my motion is, the bigger my investment in energy and time. Because if I bring my blade way out, now usually I have to bring my blade back in order to go somewhere else. If I can accomplish the same thing with just bringing the blade forward a little bit and then go somewhere else, that's going to save me a lot more time. It's going to save me a lot of energy. So that's preferable. However, you may have an opponent that does not react to that. You're doing these subtle twitches, and he's not even seeing it. It doesn't mean anything to him. So you actually have to threaten with the blade, put the blade out there for him to see it. Maybe even pause it for a second before you go to the other side. Okay. Now, occasionally, especially if I'm doing sword and buckler fighting, I will get somebody that it seems like they're not reacting to anything, regardless whether it's a subtle fake, a very overt and obvious one. They're not reacting to it. And the reason why that I often find is that they already have it pre-programmed in their mind what they want to do. Okay, so regardless of what I do, they really don't care because they know what they want to do. And usually with the sword and buckler, they want to come out and meet there. That's where they want to start their fight from. That's where they want to get to, and it doesn't matter what I'm doing. That's where they're going to go. Okay, so they're not looking to see what you're doing. They just know where they want to go. They feel safe in that by bringing the blade out and the buckler, that they're fairly covered. Okay, that the lines are, that the lines are closed, and they feel confident that you have to meet their blade at that point. Okay, or they're going to basically they're going to be able to kill you. That if you don't meet the blade, they're just going to be able to either cut you or thrust through. So the question becomes, how do you deal with that? Obviously one option is to actually meet them and fight them from the bind, but another option is to actually to feint that moment of contact. So they've made it up. They've already made it up in their mind that they're going to be here, right? That's where they want to be. And based on where I'm standing, okay, or where I initiate, right, and then taking one step, they've already calculated approximately where this bind is going to be. It's either going to be here, maybe it'll be a little bit to the side here, maybe it'll be a little bit to the side here, but they've already made a calculation in their mind where this bind is likely to happen and where they're going to be fighting from. So one of the ways that I have found to deal with this is not to go where they want me to go. So if they expect that I'm going to go there, I'll short step, so I can bring it back a little bit. So instead of meeting here, we're meeting here, and they're meeting the tip of my blade instead of the middle part of my blade. Or possibly as they're as we step in, I see them moving, I'll step back. So again, I'm changing where that initiation happens, and all of a sudden the fight becomes less predictable from their perspective. Which is not to say that they're not going to be able to adapt to it, but I'm taking away the predictability that the fight is going to be here and it's going to start from here, and from here we're going to start doing all the stuff that we normally do, you know, dupliering and thrusting through, you know, and all that other stuff. So just by changing position, either by short stepping, you know, and letting them meet my tip, you know, in which case, you know, you can just pull your tip back, thrust through, or you know, stepping and just stepping back, you know, I'm taking away, you know, the predictability of ending up in or starting the fight from that position where they want to be. So that's one of the reasons that I have found, okay, that people will not bite on your fakes, is because they've already got it set in their mind what they're gonna do, and you have to get the fight past that, okay? Because once you get past that, right, you know, once you let's say you you initiate, you step back. Okay, now you guys are actually engaged. You know, now you can, you can make that fake. So your fake doesn't have to be the opening shot. You know, it could be in the middle of a fight, which, you know, chances are it will probably be more effective against this type of an opponent. You know, that has already committed to what they want that initial contact to be. So something for you guys to think about. And like I said, it's not something that's obviously going to apply to every situation. It's just something that I have seen apply to a lot of situations where my opponent is not registering any fake. He's not responding to any fake because he's got it set in his mind that this is what he's going to do. That's going to be his opening strike. And you know, theoretically, that makes your opponent predictable. And on a theoretical level, you know, anybody that is predictable is that much easier to beat. And I'm not saying that you're going to easily beat them, because they just might be better than you. But at least you have, you know, that level of predictability, you know, gives you a better chance. So a few things for you guys to think about. And if you're not a member of the channel, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.